so freaking beautiful. I'll also toss the workout for today up on the screen. It's basically just a long run, and it's quite the freaking awesome day for it, so let's get it.
We don't need a cup that I run proof. Coming at the same time, you don't bust a dime for us. When we make it rain in the
It's Joe's to Pros, episode 3. What is up, YouTube? If that was not a waste of some memory card space, I don't know what was. Whew. All right, let's talk about how training's been going and what nutrition I've been using. So actually racing in 4 weeks now. And I'll be rolling through the Big D, and I do mean Dallas.
I'm going through the Big D, no mean Dallas.
Dallas Little Elm. Freaking crazy. We just cut my entire training period. Basically feels like in half. I don't know if it quite literally is in half, but it's pretty close to that. I was wanting to do Chattanooga 70.3, and then my cousin is actually getting married on the exact same day, so I'm like, well, I gotta figure out something here because I'm not gonna be racing that, dude. I mean, an Ironman you can do any other time, but like your cousin's wedding, you know, you can't really be missing stuff like that. So we checked on the schedule, tried to figure out what other races were happening, and Dallas Little Elm 70.3 was going on in March 15th to be exact. And I personally did not want to keep on training into the summer. I'd rather just kind of like crank one out earlier, so here we are. Training has just been completely cut.
Calvin, I'm sad. Family first, always. I think Calvin made the right decision to move his race how he did. I am so sad that he will not be there. My number one thing is I have to beat Calvin.
So now with Dallas Little Elm and me racing earlier and Hunter racing later, we got a little bit of some friendly competition here. So I know she's trying to beat me.
That's my goal. I have to beat Calvin. I was telling my husband that the other day. He's like, I don't know if we're gonna beat Calvin. I'm like, no, but I will. No, but I will. So I'm gonna miss Calvin a lot. I wish he was gonna be there, and I know you won't even be at the event either, which is so sad. I'm glad I'm not traveling because I couldn't do it without my family at the race. So I am happy for me. I will be home. I am sad for Calvin because he will not be here. I am also so excited to see how Calvin does in a month. He is way less than 13 weeks out, and I have no doubt in Calvin's ability. I think he is gonna absolutely crush it.
Oh, so first time in a freaking tri-suit? This thing is so freaking tight. Goodness, bro, my belly. I feel like a seal in this thing. Also, we're gonna be running an Aero helmet. We got the Aero helmet, guys. And we got the freaking sick XP freaking R, dude. About to be sick.
Big portions of this whole journey that have like been on my mind the whole time. One of them being weight training and how I have little to no time to do any sort of strength training or weight training. I thought, coming into triathlon, I thought I would have like 1 or 2 days a week that I would be able to do some strength training, but that has not been the case. And it's something that I kind of feel guilty for. Like I feel like I should be doing some strength training, even just like, dynamic optimal things to help with running and swimming and biking, just to kind of keep my muscles working as efficiently as they possibly can. But I have not had any time to do that. So that's one thing that I have felt guilty about during this training journey. I hope it doesn't come back to haunt me that I haven't done any strength training. I try to stretch and recover as best as I can and do what I can with the limited amount of time that I have, and take advantage of those things to take care of my body and to make sure that I'm ready to train every day. But it's definitely something that's been weighing on me on the lack of strength training that I've been able to do or have time to do. The second one being my nutrition. I just don't quite grasp what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm not quite sure the direction I'm going to be going. Like, I don't know, what type of fuel do I need to use? How much fuel do I need to use? When I'm working out first thing in the morning at 5:30 in the morning, I am not hungry and I'm not ready to down a bunch of carbs. Because I just woke up, my eyes just opened and I'm rolling out of my bed and I'm jumping in my car to get to the gym as quick as I can. So it's been something that I have been practicing. It's not been something that I have nailed. It's also been tricky because it's winter and, I had a 2.5 hour ride outside on this past Saturday, and the fuel that I had was perfect for the ride that I had. I do not think it's gonna be the same fuel that I will have on race day because, it was 40 degrees, super windy and cold, and I didn't have one drop of sweat on my body. I also wasn't pushing very hard. I was with my husband who likes to talk and wanted to just be out and ride, getting the 2.5 hours. He doesn't ride a bunch, and I also forced him on this 2.5 hour ride because I'm not comfortable riding by myself. But I wasn't pushing it, and so I'm not sweating. I'm hitting some zone. I'm going up and down, hitting some zones, hitting some rolling hills, but it wasn't anything crazy. And so, I wasn't sure what I needed to do or what fuel I needed to bring. And so, what I had worked, but I don't think it's going to work for me on race day because, the race day is in May, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot warmer than it is now. I'm sure I'm going to be sweatier, and I'm going to be working harder than I did last Saturday. So kind of what I've been doing right now is just focusing on making sure I'm ingesting enough to be sure I'm recovering enough to, hit all of my training sessions every week.
All right. How are we looking, guys? This feels a little sketchy. So I've been messaging with Coach Conrad, and one of the things he told me is that right now it's important to rehearse my fuel and nutrition. So for my key endurance workouts, on the weekends, he basically said target 60 to 90 of carbohydrates per hour, along with 22 to 23 ounces of fluid each hour. In training, assume you have breakfast. It's okay to wait 30 to 45 minutes before taking the carbohydrates, which I know I talked also to Jenna McGill about this, about kind of their fueling strategy. And one thing they recommended that me and Hunter practice is actually starting off feeling very, very full. And kind of training our stomachs, even though it might feel kind of that it'll eventually, help us. So yeah, Conrad's basically telling me the idea right now is to own in on a fueling strategy that you can implement on race day, and explore the upper limits of what your body can comfortably absorb. And that is honestly the hardest part, is trying to figure out what works best for me and just constantly reminding myself to keep on taking stuff in, because it's quite hard to do that.
So I think a classic day in the life of me training right now, I'll kind of go through today. I woke up at 4:55, rolled out of bed, got myself dressed in the dark, always in the dark, because my son sleeps in our bed for 99% of the nights. So I have to make sure I get my clothes out the night before, so I'm not wearing nothing when I'm going to the pool. But I roll out of bed, get dressed, and then I run to the kitchen and put a waffle in the toaster. And I made a bottle of Scratch hydration this morning. So I think it has 18 or 20 grams of carbs, maybe but it's mostly focused on hydration. And I've actually been enjoying that. I've just been out of what I've been using. I've been using raw endurance fuel that has like 25 grams of carbs in a scoop, more sodium in that. And it, you know, I think the difference for me is that the raw endurance fuel is heavier and it fills me up more, and I can tell a difference in like how I'm consuming it, how I'm digesting it. Whereas the Scratch is more just like easily drinkable, it's really light, not a lot of flavor, all of those things. So, you know, and the Scratch is what I had on my ride this past weekend. I have a feeling that I'm gonna maybe need a mix of both, or, you know, one or the other come race day. I think the problem with me is that I overanalyze and I overthink, and I, you know, put myself in the kitchen, and then I start doing all this math and all of this science, and then I'm, you know, mixing all these things together, and I'm trying to figure out what's working. I'm trying to take notes in my phone to you know, say like, here's the block of work that I did, here's the amount of time that I was exercising, and here's what I had, and how did I feel after? Or, you know, if I have to do a brick run after the bike, how is my body responding to what I took in on the bike?
Yeah, so we shall see. We shall see what's about to go down. Dallas Little M. Let's freaking get it. Let's freaking get it. All right. I'm pretty cold. All right, you'll see it.
Again.